Alright, in this video we're going to talk about how to balance redox reactions. The first thing we're going to do is to write a half reaction. To write the half reaction, we just identify the two parts that look similar to each other. So like in this one, these two both have chromium in them. And so they would make one half reaction. And so we would write Cr2O7 minus 2 and Cr plus 3. Now I like to leave room on either side. We're going to add stuff on both sides here. And so then the other half would be the manganese half, the stuff that has manganese in it. Okay, so that's writing our half reactions. Next we're going to balance the atom which is not oxygen or hydrogen. And so in the first half that would be chromium. So here you have 2 chromium and here you have 1. So we're going to balance that first. So we'll put a 2 over here. We'll do the same in the second half. We have 1 manganese and 1 manganese, and so that's balanced. Then we're going to balance our oxygens. We do this by adding water. We're not arbitrarily adding water. Remember, all reactions happen in the presence of water. We just typically, up until now, have been ignoring water. But in these reactions, we can no longer ignore water to help them balance. And we're going to use them to help us balance our oxygen. So here we have 7 oxygens. So to get oxygens over here on this side, we're going to add 7 waters, since each water has 1 oxygen. And so now we have equal number of oxygens on both sides. We'll do the same in the second half. We have no oxygens on the left and 2 oxygens on the right. And so we're going to add 2 waters to the left-hand side. And so now we have 2 oxygens on the left. Now, our hydrogens will balance by adding hydrogen ions. You have to make sure not to forget the charge, because that's going to be important in the next step. And so, over here on the left, we don't have any hydrogen ions. Over here, or hydrogens, but over here we have 14 hydrogens. 7 times 2 is 14. And so we need to add 14 hydrogen ions on the left-hand side. Now, in the second half, we have 4 hydrogens on the left. On the right we don't have any. And so we need to add 4 hydrogen ions to the right. Now we're going to balance our charge. We do this by adding electrons, and we add our electrons to the more negative side. Ooh, that's wrong. We add our electrons to the more positive side. Ooh, that's a mistake. We add our electrons to the more positive side because electrons are negative. Alright, so we add our electrons to the more positive side. So let's add up our charges. Sometimes it's helpful to circle our charges. So we have over here 14 positives and 2 negatives. So that makes positive 12 on the left. And over here we have 2 positive 3s. That makes positive 6. And so again we're going to add them to our more positive side. So we have 14 and negative 2 makes positive 12 and 6. So we're going to add enough to make it equal to the other side. So we need 6 electrons. So now we have a positive 6 equals a positive 6. Now the same down here in the bottom. We have a plus 2. And then on the right hand side we have a plus 4. Alright, again the more positive side to make it equal to the other side. And so we add 2 electrons. Alright, so we have a positive 2 equals a positive 2. Okay. Now we want to make our electrons equal. Okay. So how do we make our electrons equal? Well, we have 6 electrons on top and 2 electrons on the bottom. And so we make them equal by multiplying the bottom half by 3. Alright, so we make our electrons equal. We might even want to add that as a little 5a sort of step. It says cancel out and reduce. We need to make our electrons equal. Make our electrons equal so they can cancel out. Right, so we multiply everything through in here by 3. And so this one will become 6 and 3 and 3. And this will become 12. And this will become 6. As you can see, you might even choose to use a pencil when you do this because it might get messy. I'm going to use another colored ink pen myself. Let's see, we're going to use a pink one this time. Alright, so now we're going to cancel some stuff out. Alright, so our electrons will always cancel. Right? Now, we have 14 hydrogens on the left and 12 hydrogens on the right. The 12 on the right will cancel out, and we'll subtract those and be left with 2 on the left. Our 6 waters on the left and 7 waters on the right, the 6 on the left will cancel. We'll subtract them from the 7 on the right and leave us with 1. And nothing else will cancel out, and so then we'll write our final answer as 2 hydrogen ions plus Cr2O7 with a -2 plus 3 Mn plus 2, and that will yield 2 Cr plus 3 plus 3 MnO2 gives us 1 water as well. Right? And we can check our final answer, make sure it's all balanced. Right? So we have 2 hydrogens, 2 chromium, 7 oxygens, 3 times 2 is 6 oxygens, plus 1 more makes 7, 3 manganese, and now our charge has to balance as well, so we have 2 positives and -2, that makes 0, and 3 times plus 2 is 6, and 2 times plus 3 is 6, and so that is all balanced out. Alright, so I want you to try the one down here on the bottom, and tomorrow at the beginning of class, we'll go over this one. Okay, so you follow the steps up here that I just did on this one, and we'll go over this one at the beginning of class.